Everybody, it is Wednesday. It's about 11:30 on the clock Pacific time, so it's at 2:30 Eastern if you're watching on the East Coast. I just want to jump in with a new update for you. We didn't do any updates Monday or Tuesday just because the market was pretty flat. Again, I only want to make videos for you so that when you watch them, there's something solid that you can take some info from, you can act on, and you can have more confidence in what you're doing. I'm not going to put a video up just to put a video up. So if you do see a video pop up and you get an alert that there's a new video, you know it's going to be something really cool. All right. So let's look at some updates for today, even over the last couple days. Really weren't a whole lot of stocks that moved, but there was a small trend that we noticed. First of all, DraftKings was sitting here at, let's take a look where it was a few days ago. It was sitting here roughly around 33, and it's gone up. So I think part of it, we're seeing a little less uncertainty. The market and businesses as a whole hate uncertainty. We'd rather have bad news than questionable news or a question of, what things are going to end up. So with college football playing, the ACC is definitely playing, the SEC is definitely playing. The Big 12 would be moronic not to play, and pretty much all the governors in the Big 12 are staunch Republican governors. So and they just love football. You're not going to tell a bunch of like Texas Tech and a bunch of schools in Oklahoma that they're not going to be playing football, because they will literally bust out the pitchforks and march on the Capitol. So that's really good. But you do see the, I don't know how to say it in a nice way. You do see the people that have no spine, the Big Ten and the Pac-10, or Pac-10, Big Ten and the Pac-12 are not playing, which is funny. Again, Iowa State can play, but Iowa can't, which is kind of crazy. You're going to see a whole bunch of football crazy people in Ohio and Michigan that are going to be really annoyed, pissed, whatever you want to call it, because they're watching the SEC play. I mean, there's a big rivalry between the Big Ten and the SEC, and the SEC is playing, and they're getting all the headlines, and the Big Ten is twiddling their thumbs. On top of that, this is crazy. I don't know if you read this or not. Michigan State, they're not having football, but they're having intramural football. Yes, you heard that right. So if you're a football player at Michigan State, you can't play football on the field with helmets and pads. But you can go out and play intramural football with a bunch of people on the intramural fields. That really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it just tells you the stupidity of how things are managed. Trust me, I was in senior management for a while, and I will tell you that a lot of people don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to improve their own stock for getting promoted. But realistically, I made a living off of capitalizing off the mistakes of really stupid managers and, quote, leaders out there. And so with that, the lack of uncertainty, we're seeing DraftKings stock go up, which is really nice. I think as we get closer to the days when you're going to be drafting football teams, fantasy football, and I'm in 2 leagues this year, one with my friend Pete, who is ironically the stepdad of one of my friends, Mike, but I actually probably talk to Pete more, and then my friend Alex from Miami. So as we get down to drafting teams for fantasy football, I think you're going to see the interest in this jump. And as the NFL season starts, you're going to see the interest on this jump as well. And then obviously as we get to the NBA, as we're starting the playoffs and getting toward the finals, or as we're getting to the end of the baseball season in the fall, you're going to see this jump. So I think this is a no-brainer stock to pick up, and there's still a lot of upside. All right. So with that, we want to talk about the spread of coronavirus, and I just want to talk about San Diego because that's where I live, and I think they do a really good job. So one of the things we notice here about trends is new cases are going down, and here is your trend line. So all the media hysteria, if you ever notice in the last few days in the media, and I used to be in media, so I know how these people work, all these people are talking about the Democratic Convention and Kamala Harris, which, by the way, ironically, if you go to Google Translate and translate Kamala from Finnish to English, you'll find something really funny. But they just need their shiny object. And so one of the things that happens when the case count goes down is they want to talk about something else. So they're going to talk about the Postal Service or whatever it is, their topic of the day. The reason they're not talking about coronavirus this week, if you notice, is because there's not a lot to talk about. And one of the things that I always learned in media is it's not so much what you're talking about, it's what you're not talking about. So they're not talking about coronavirus anymore because the numbers are plummeting. If you look at testing, the testing numbers are even flattening to going down because they're running out of people to test. Typically, your first people that are tested are the people that need it most, and as you go along, farther along the line, the people that you end up testing are you have to find people that have less of an urgency to be tested. And so they're running out of people to test. That number is going down, which is a great, great sign. If there is such a thing as herd immunity, I'm not a scientist, so I can't say one way or the other. If there is a herd immunity thing, then it's working pretty well. This is the gold metric for what we're doing here. The percentage of people testing positive, and again, we're down at 4%. We're getting close to the area where it was at the very, very bottom when everything was open. So hopefully San Diego County will be open soon. If not, I think we need to march with pitchforks down there. Hospitalizations are plummeting as well. So that is a really good sign. And then numbers of daily hospital beds, again, we're down, way down here. And even this number, as low as it is going down as well. Deaths per day, again, plummeting downward. I mean, it's been, over long term, it's been flat to going down. So it's kind of going that way. But over the last probably month, it's gone double black diamond ski slope down. And when we talk about deaths, it's kind of interesting. So we went to the last few deaths and we talk about everybody who is dying is really old, 94, 95, 70, 79, 78, 84, 96. Geez, you lived in 96, you're living a good life. 88, 90. And then we have to give a golf clap to the fact that we have somebody that was under 50 with no underlying health conditions, and that's the only one that I could find that died a few days ago. And I'm not clapping because they died. I'm not going that way. I'm just giving a golf clap because it's a rarity, and it's something that generally doesn't happen. The last time it happened was June 16th. So it's only taken 2 months for somebody under 50 with no underlying health conditions to die in a county the size of the state of Rhode Island with 3 million people in it. So with that being said, and even in the last few days, everybody that died was 78, 76, 85, 70, and 87, and all had underlying health conditions. So with that being said, I'm telling you, all the signs are pointing to the fact that things are going to go up very soon. And even in the polling for the presidency, people are getting it. There's a statistical dead heat. They just did a test. They just did a poll, a nationwide poll, and it was basically within 1%. And supposedly Joe Biden had a 14-point lead 2 weeks ago. And then they did battleground states, and it's again within 1%. So basically what we're looking at right now, the smart investors are putting their money in before the prices go up, because these stock prices are going to go up very soon. Don't get caught behind. All right. Last couple things, we look at last couple stocks. CAGI, this is the European airline conglomerate, went up 7% today. They've been a great stock lately. If you've looked at them, they've gone from being at under 5. Well, I was going to say been a great stock. They've had some good jumps, but I guess they had some drops as well. But over the last month, we've seen as optimism goes up, it goes up, and then we had cases go up in Europe, but it's going down. So another good one to do on that side. VVI, they do entertainment and travel. They went up 9% today. Again, a great sign. Again, these are kind of trailing indicators of the stats that we looked at. And then the crazy one that went up today, it went up, 3% roughly, 4%, is XAN. And they basically do commercial real estate, which you'd think is going to be in a tough situation. But anybody that knows anything about economics knows it's always a zero-sum equation. And they're going to repurpose it for those purposes. So with that being said, get your money in. Trailing indicators are basically the stock prices. The numbers are going everywhere we want them to go. So this is the time. If you haven't invested or invested enough, get your positions in now. To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.